Hey guys, it's Katie Kate on the Homestead. It is Thursday, January 25th, and it is an absolute ice rink outside. We did have an ice storm last night, so it's kind of treacherous out there. It's a good day to be inside, so I thought I would shoot a video to introduce a series that I wanted to cover on my cost of living here on the homestead. I'd like to talk about what it actually costs to live here, and I'm gonna have to break it down in a series of videos. I mentioned before that for the past year and a half since I got here, I feel like I've been spending with wild abandon, just trying to get myself set up with everything that I need. As of January this year, I am on a budget because my goal here really is sustainability, and I really want to figure out what it's actually costing me to live on this homestead. Moving from the city, I honestly had no idea what it was going to cost me to be here, but I just assumed it would be less than what I was paying there. One thing I was really concerned about was my heating costs, and so that's what I'm going to talk about today. So in this house, I have a propane furnace, and I also have several sources of wood heat, which I prefer. Last winter, my fire repairs weren't completed, so I had an exposed area in my living room where the fireplace hadn't been repaired, and I feel like I lost a lot of heat out of that wall. Also, I didn't have the fireplace working, so I was really relying on the little wood stove that's in the rec room to heat the whole house. I also did burn my kitchen cook stove, although because that's more for cooking, it's not really designed to put out a lot of heat. Because of all this, I really had to rely on my propane, which was very, very expensive. My propane costs for last winter, if I consider October, November, December, January, February, March, so 6 months, cost me about $3,200, which was about $500 a month, which is pretty expensive. On top of that, I burned 8 cords of wood that delivered and split cost me $120 each, or $960. What this breaks down to between propane and wood, by my calculation, is about $660 a month in heating for a total of $4,160, which is a ton. This winter, my fireplace is repaired, so it's re-insulated and I'm not losing a lot of heat out of that wall. Also, I can use the firebox with the wood stove in the rec room to double up the wood heat that I have in the house. My fireplace has a vent system with a blower, so the heat will go up, and then the vents are right at the top of the fireplace, so the heat blows along the ceiling, which is the floor to the upstairs. One thing I love about wood heat over propane is it's a radiant heat. So I feel like it really warms up the whole house, it warms up the wood, and it seems to last longer even when the fires die down. I have been sleeping on the couch for the most part so that I can wake up in the middle of the night when it gets chilly and throw some more wood on the fires. And by doing that, I've been able to keep them going pretty much 24/7. I actually haven't used any kindling in the last week because I just haven't needed to. I've kept it all burning, so it's been a source of perpetual heat. I have my propane thermostat set to 62 degrees just in case it gets cold in here, and that's really just a backup system to protect my pipes and not have anything freeze. As of today, I think I have burned about 30% of a single tank since the winter started, which is a fraction of what I used last winter. Okay, so I had to reshoot this whole part of the video because my math was off and I needed to correct it. So let's talk about how much it cost me so far this year to heat just with wood. So this year I bought about 20 cords of wood, unsplit, delivered for $1,300. So that means that I had to put in the time and effort to split the wood myself, and I also had to pay for some fuel to put in the log splitter. And I think I put about $100 into that. So let's say $1,400 for 20 cords, which comes out to about $70 a cord, which is, almost half of what I paid last year. So far this year, I've burned about 8 cords of wood, which is working out to about 2 cords a month. So The correct math is it's costing me about $140 a month to heat my house with wood. Not only does burning wood, in my opinion, make the whole house feel warmer, it's definitely a much more cost-effective method of heating this house. So the difference is I'm looking at spending about $140 a month this year on heat compared to $660 a month last year when I combined the wood and the propane. So compared to last year at $4,160, that is almost 80% cheaper, which is a huge difference. I will have about half of the wood left over after this year, and my goal is to just stock it up over the year and keep my supply. Obviously, my costs in the winter and summer are going to be different. In the winter, I have the wood heat. In the summer, I have the air conditioning, which I suspect is going to cost a little bit more on the hydro end. But right now, I'm just mapping it out month by month, and I'm not even through a full month yet. So once I map out what I'm actually spending after the first 3 months of this year, I will let you know, and I'll have a better sense of what my cost of living actually is. So I'd like to make this a series where I break down some of my fixed and variable costs. Obviously, my heat is a variable cost, and I can be really transparent about what it is actually costing me to live on the homestead. Okay, well, I hope that you found that informative. Personally, I had no idea what that was going to look like when I came here, and so if it's helpful for you, I'm glad. Okay, well, until next time, happy, healthy living. I am Katie Kate on the homestead, staying warm, and I will see you later.